У всего в мире есть свой ритм.
Everything in the world has its own rhythm. All the processes we see in the visible world occur cyclically and have their own speed, periods, and dynamics, being in fragile equilibrium and permanently replacing each other. The desire for knowledge of living space, with its rhythm, is the foundation of surviving in a turbulent and often hostile environment. In our observable space, there occurs a constant struggle of opposites, merging in the end into a new equilibrium cycle. Every equilibrium phenomenon is temporary. However, striving for it is the essence of any system. All the rhythmic processes occurring in the world have their own structure and dynamics. All the phenomena around us incline to order and constancy, continuously adapting and modifying their internal characteristics and the harmonic properties under the influence of external influences. The alternation of harmony and chaos. This is a natural part of the evolutionary process, and the presence of internal contradictions are the evidence of active development. Any turbulence is replaced by more stable internal links, allowing to save the vitality of the organism and bring it to a new level. If the organism doesn't cope with the introduced dissonance and doesn't have time to adapt, the degenerative processes become chronic, gradually destroying it and freeing space for a more stable form. Throughout the entire historical period known to us, the human desire for stability, harmony, and balance was a natural response to the habitat changes. However, the modern world has accelerated significantly. With the technological development and the quick evolving of the scientific and technical progress, loads on an active member of the society are becoming more and more significant, draining their energy, resources, and destroying the body's defense. Here, the time for recovery is not that long. We're forced to function at the breaking point in the conditions of constant stress, only occasionally taking short breaks to rest. Such a regime cannot affect our well-being and psycho-emotional state. It gradually becomes clear that our adaptive capabilities are lower than the modern world's requirements. We do not have time to adapt and comfortably integrate into the fast lifestyle changes. This brings a modern resident of a metropolis to a huge range of physiological and psychological problems, exhaustion, diseases, absence of life taste, energy, and strength. These problems are growing every year and getting younger, and dealing with them individually becomes virtually impossible. That's why the recovery of internal resources and human potential energy is the most current problem and the main challenge to the new era. The D Holding Company, already for a quarter of a century, studies, develops, and produces innovative healing technologies. In 2018, the company introduced a revolutionary, compact, and fully automated improved device with exogenous bioresistance therapy, Deta-Elis Mini, which is a breakthrough in the field of healing and health maintenance, allowing to effectively resist the challenges of the modern times and restoring cheerfulness, activity, and life energy. What's open to ordinary users was inaccessible before. That is, the world of quantum medicine. Deta-Elis is a unique, stylish, easy-to-use tuning health fork incorporating the best achievements of the Western and Eastern civilizations, the knowledge accumulated and stored by humankind for more than 1 millennium. In Eastern medicine, for thousands of years, there exist concepts of the energetic structures of the organism, which are in the form of channels, meridians, in the form of biological active points, along which life energy circulates. In the classic medicine, this is not recognized, because anatomical correspondence to this doesn't exist. But in the meantime, if some energy is circulating, it should be then present in the form of some physical quantities. This actually applies to the fundamental laws of nature, because energy is distributed with the help of certain electromagnetic waves. All our cells are essentially receivers and transmitters of electromagnetic oscillations, and because of that, our organs have different functions and different tasks. For example, the heart is doing one task, the liver other tasks, kidneys other, and all together are related with each other's form, and the amazing relationship which ensures the vital activities of the organism. These are electromagnetic waves. Frequency characteristics are the language of our cells, the natural language of our cells. Any disease begins with the fact that these signals distorted. Their synchronization with each other is broken, but it still doesn't feel in any way. That is, the person doesn't feel any symptoms. They don't feel any discomfort. Already at the energy information level, failures start to happen, which occur increasingly. They get worse. Only then, after a while, a change already starts occurring in the functional activity of certain organs. In simple terms, they begin to weaken and not quite correctly perform their task, and this person already begins to feel, in the form of weakness, fatigue, mood decline, some periodical unpleasant feelings appearing in the body's different parts. Accordingly, an unrecoverable problem worsens over time. And when some symptom already appears, we naturally either go to a doctor, or as a rule, what the majority do, they go to a pharmacy and buy any medications in order to eliminate this discomfort. In fact, here the discomfort is not only a symptom, it is just a manifestation of internal dissonance, the violation of this harmony of the oscillatory circuit. Because these meridians, the energy of our cells, our organs, our systems, essentially represent the oscillatory circuit. If we talk from the radio-electronic point of view, or radio communication, or radio engineering, when we have a precise setting, and a receiver or TV catches the waves with its antenna, we have a clear image, clear sound. When we have an antenna somehow twisted, we have rattle, flickering flies, and we don't like it. It's the same thing in our organism. The living organism is also in a close and continuous relationship with the surrounding world, and it transmits its radiations of the external environment and receivers. The human nervous system is activated by electrochemical signals, indicating the presence of electromagnetic ones with different intensity and frequency ranges. Any action complex or movement is a multi-component electrical pulse sent to an innervated limb and setting our body in motion. The electrical activity is not a unique property of our species. It is inherent in more simple forms of life. For the first time, the concept of a biological field of living organisms was found by outstanding Russian scientist Alexander Gavrilovich Gurvichin, dealing with formation problems and emphasizing the special influence of various studies of the formation and the organism development. This was a big leap that gives an impetus to the gradual merging of the medicine of the East and the West, the questions related to bioenergy, and developing methods for adjusting human health using physical principles. Precisely at the meeting point of the knowledge of the West and the East, the device Vita rhythm appeared. The idea that you can recover health not only in the chemical way by taking some medications, solutions, herbs, some ointments, mixtures or drips, and try to apply a more modern, more technological instrument that recovers health without medications by sending special electromagnetic signals that are characteristic of our organisms, our organs, our systems, and this idea turned out to be very vital. It excited the scientists' minds for a long time. About 70 years ago, for the first time they started by a selection study or a compiling register of different frequencies of organs And the German scientists, with their great punctuality and meticulousness, conducted multiple experiments, including those during the Great Patriotic War. These experiments were carried out, where the frequency characteristics of different organs and systems in different conditions and in normal conditions were studied and investigated, and also in pathological conditions.
Частоты, которые используются прибором, вымерялись и
The frequencies used by the device are measured and created by scientists of the past century, precisely by experimental means. That is, the scientists measured organs by acupuncture points, and most importantly, they clearly understood that each organ has not only one frequency, as a healthy one, but a set of frequencies, because each frequency corresponds to a specific part of the organ, or to a defined function of the organ. At the time when these frequencies were found, many different tricks were used for the organism response to some effects with various strengths, various physical factors, and they recorded the response of muscle systems, nervous systems, the reaction of different organs and systems in response to stimulation, including the experiments conducted on prisoners of concentration camps. At that time it was what was called, probably, inhumane experiments. Well, nobody was killed in a special way, but a part of the scientific base was made on the basis of experiments with people who were in such conditions.
Война – это не только период горя, потерь и лишений.
War was not only a period of grief, loss and deprivation, but also the time for the biggest sprints and discoveries in the history of humankind, when all economic, labor, and intellectual forces focused on a single thought of survival. It was during this tragic time, and there were revolutionary discoveries and a massive race of human thought.
Одним из родоначальников частотной терапии был основоположник.
One of the pioneers of frequency therapy was the founder of the electropuncture diagnostic method, German scientist Reinhold Voll, who studied the ancient heritage with one of the most controversial units in history, Ahnenerbe. The essence of his work was to analyze the concept analysis of the Eastern medicine and the search for a resonant frequency by stimulating the human nervous system and by taking appropriate measurements in the organ's field projection corresponding to the biologically active points in the body. Apparently, the point's location zone corresponds to a special cells accumulation, microvessels and fibers of the autonomous nervous system with special functionality. Upon simulation by electric current, it was possible to obtain information about the activity of the affected organ by subsequent response measurement. Precisely this work formed the basis of the post-war research of Dr. Voll and implemented the diagnostic method improved by Dr. Schimmel and transformed later into the vegetative resonance testing. This diagnostic method is built on the energetic potential measurements of the organism's systems, comparing them with reference values by creating a closed loop from the electrode in one hand and a probe for supplying pulses in the other hand, thereby forming a circuit in which the human body serves as a conductor. In the case of difficulty in signal transmission and finding a deviation, the doctor delivers to the circuit a patient-device digitalized signal corresponding to the frequencies of the pathogenic agents in order to detect burdening. The main difference between the vegetative resonance test and Voll's diagnostic method is in reducing the number of operating points to one point through which indicators are tested.
Для широкого большинства
Due to its complexity and lack of accessibility for the vast majority, this method is not widespread, remains a reliable and high-precision instrument in the hands of advanced representatives of the medical community. However, in the therapeutic and wellness areas, the knowledge accumulation subsequently found its embodiment in portable technical solutions. This base formed the basis for the creation of the Deta-Written device. In essence, it is a generator of electromagnetic waves with frequencies characteristic of healthy organs. When we start to use it, the organs remember these electromagnetic waves like its origins, its own, natural. They remember that time when they were young and healthy. They worked well, and for some reasons they deviated from this, so to say. They start to adjust by the resonance phenomenon. That is, they start to recover their lost characteristics. That is, from the point of view of radiophysics and biophysics. And if we talk about the medical aspects, therefore a restoration of the functional activity of these organs That is, we return health to people. Delta rhythm is a high generator of super-weak electromagnetic radiation, identical to that emitted by natural organ systems. It works in the ultra-low frequency range. With a carrier frequency of 10 kHz, the modulation frequencies are varying in the spectrum from 0.1 Hz, containing the frequencies database of a healthy person, structured and systemized into automatic programs and complexes in accordance with biochemical, anatomical and functional characteristics, emitting a reference signal at organ or system frequencies located in the depressed state. The device acts as a transmitter, and the organ's cells act as a receiver, designed to interact with a spectrum of a certain range of frequencies. With regular use, it subsequently sets up and turns on the work of one organ after another. Once the cells catch the frequency of the healthy organ, the cell activity stimulation occurs, along with a function restoration of the object of influence, which was recorded through multiple clinical trials and experiments. This is armor that allows us to secure and protect ourselves from the environment's destructive factors and supports our inner harmony, not in the figurative, but in the literal sense.
Резонансные явления возникают повсеместно в природе.
The resonance phenomenon occurs everywhere in the nature. When the electromagnetic wave coincides in frequency and phase with another similar wave, amplification of oscillations occurs. For example, if we throw a stone into water and a second stone, and from each one there appear circles on the water going from each. In one case, when waves intersect with each other in the inversion phase, the waves are destroyed, and when they coincide in phase, this wave becomes higher or bigger. For example, when sea waves move to a shore, tide, we see one wave, the second wave, and suddenly a wave of some unusual height and strength. What happened? That is, somewhere in the depths, there happened some resonance phenomenon and the wave comes strenuously. That is, the organ system. What is the organs and systems good functioning? Let's say a heart. If a heart is healthy, it means it generates its own specific frequency characteristic of harmonic oscillations. The human being starts to experience some kind of anxiety, agitation, resentment, aggression, in a word, stress. The organ that generates these electromagnetic waves, it begins reducing its amplitude, and the heart quickens its rhythm and can even stray from the rhythm in general. Arrhythmia occurs.
Гармоничные колебания здоровых органов, они начинают вибрировать по-другому, то есть что-то им мешает.
If harmonic oscillations of healthy organs begin to vibrate differently, that is, there is something bothering them, a disharmony appears in this organ, and the organ starts to suffer. These are our negative emotions. This is our lifestyle that we lead. Most frequently it is food, water, heavy metals, exhaust fumes from cars, factories, that is, everything that surrounds us. Our ecology fails our organism when we succumb to this influence. Naturally, the organs begin to emit slowly different frequencies, vibrate at other frequencies, and so this device, the Deta-rhythm, it just adjusts, harmonizes each organ, and gives this organ energy, and our organ responds in the form of resonance, responds to these healthy vibrations.
Гармония – это согласование разнородных по качеству сущностей, образующих...
Harmony is the coordination of heterogeneous essences. Quality forms a whole, resulting from the correct combination and interaction of the elements that make up the phenomenon. Any sound is nothing more than mechanical oscillations of molecules in space, and what kind of notes we hear is defined by some physical parameters like the wavelength and its frequency characteristics. A frequency, in its turn, is nothing more than a wave pulsation. The frequency which is stored in a one-wave cycle is called its tone.
Гармония же – это синхронизация двух и более тонов.
Harmony is the synchronization of two or more tones. The ability to synchronize tones and synthesize various fields of perception applies not only to the art of music, but also to science. Just like the sounds are combined with a harmonious orchestra playing, the electromagnetic structure of a healthy body naturally works in the productive balance, where each organ or system is in harmony with the rest of the body.
Подача гармоничного звукового ряда упорядочивает электрическую...
The supply of a harmonic wave sequence regulates the electrical activity inside the human brain and adjusts the eurythmic of internal processes and brings its organism to calmness, an equilibrium state. At the same time as the continuous influence of its disharmony causes harm, irritation and stress provoked most often by chaotic factors unrelated to the environment. When the dynamic processes of the outside world exceed the rate of internal adaptations, the human organism doesn't have time to deal with stress and properly recover and compensate the loads falling on it by short-time interruptions, which results in the violation of its functionality, disorder, and malfunction. The use of the Deta-Elis device brings the organism to a reference state, completing the regulatory function and adjusting us to the reference frequencies, eliminating chronic processes, and leading a person into the health corridor. It is an organic combination of various wave processes with matching frequencies. It produces a mutual reinforcement for a stable harmony, entering into interaction with the internal biological impulses of the human body. The regularity and coordination of all the organism's systems are called the state of inner harmony. I'm a diagnostic doctor and I've found a lot of problems with the endocrine system, with the immune system. During the stress period there appears strengthened metabolism, and because of that a lot of energy is lost, and it doesn't go nowhere. Therefore, the person is de-energized, and without energy, organs do not work. Deta-Elis is that device that restores energy, restores the immune system, restores the endocrine system, and the nervous system. The person becomes more calm.
Когда люди испытывают тревогу,
when people experience anxiety, they have some feelings, they go to the doctor independently, pass some analysis, register for examination, have an ultrasound examination, or now a popular computer tomography scan, magnetic resonance tomography, rather serious fundamental classic research methods adopted in the orthodox medicine. They didn't find any pathology, and there are no contradictions, because in order for this diagnostic method to fix the pathology, there should be already clearly expressed changes in the body. But as I already said, there is a stone, a tumor, or a fracture, for example, or something else, but the changes happen earlier, subtle. They occur precisely at this electromagnetic level, when signals are distorted, and there isn't any method of classic medicine that can catch it. Because these processes are very fast-flowing. As we know, the paradigm is so materialistic. We need to see something capital in the body, and then, oh well, let's cut it off. Thanks to the high-precision diagnostics, today we have the opportunity to carefully monitor the state of our organism, preventing diseases and not allowing them to pass to the chronic phase. This is a new word in ensuring and maintaining the health of a modern and active person. The advantages of our devices are precisely in the fact that they can't cause an overdose in any circumstances. That is, even if a person uses our device for 24 hours a day, the device will not cause any rejection or any kind of overdose. That is, on the contrary, a person can use it for a long period of time if in his life there are some great physical exertions, a big stress load. I know that most entrepreneurs, people having an active lifestyle, they very actively use it on business trips, during flights, when they're traveling to quickly acclimatize, to prevent motion sickness in vehicles, to not have a headache during acclimatization, and upon the arrival, even when the time zone difference is 8 hours, the person continues to feel cheerful and doesn't feel queasy, even hearing these in general, the little things. But these little things actually spoil the life of a huge number of people, because now a lot of people lead a very active lifestyle, and in this case, without external help, it is very difficult for them to make it. Resort to a kind of medication, people don't want it anymore. Many can't. Because if, regarding athletes, they travel to different countries, but they take different medications that are forbidden to them, because there is a doping control, and now they just need some tools that would allow to keep the shape in any conditions that arise in life.
В современном мире все больше популярность набирает спорт и здоровый
In the modern world, sport and healthy lifestyles are gaining more and more popularity, namely in the physical education and sports. The device Deta-Elis established itself as an indispensable tool for any actively training person. Today in the holding, there exists a whole team of martial art masters who actively use and promote the innovative healing technologies not only in Russia, but also at the international level.
Повышенная физическая нагрузка существенно меняет метаболизм.
The increased physical load significantly changes the metabolism. Athletes need much more nutrients, rest and recovery time. Due to the acceleration of metabolic processes, there is a rapid accumulation of decomposition products, the elimination associated with toxic stress on the liver and kidneys. The use of the Deta technology gave not only positive but its unique effect scale. With a regular and systematic use, already during the first month, the person receives a significant increase in efficiency of the strength indicators and of the energy level.
Каждый из членов коллектива получил свои персональные, ни с чем не сравнимые результаты, которые значительно
Each of the team members received their personal, incomparable results, which significantly increased the performance and reduced the recovery time after heavy loads, increased the overall tone, motivation and aspiration for the work sessions. For our team, the technology Deta became a revelation. Not only that it provides energy for a constantly ongoing training, it prepares the body for recovery after having received injuries in the sports life, stabilize the nervous system, and contribute to the preservation of the activity and the capacity until the adulthood.
Вставая утром, мы уже расходуем ряд своих ресурсов. В том случае,
Waking up in the morning, we already consume our resources, in case we had a good rest. The problem of a modern person often lies in the fact that they can't have rest during the night, that is, they're overexcited in the evening. They have a load on the nervous system. They slept badly at night, and in the morning, they wake up broken and they need to move forward. Deta-Elis, unlike Deta-AP, allows a person to recover during sleep because there are programs normalizing sleep. It gives already the opportunity to get the necessary energy in the morning
включив прибор, начал чувствовать себя лучше, проснулся и начал дальше вести.
So that a person can already turn on the device in the morning and starts to feel better, woke up and begins to lead an active life, and up to the evening doesn't feel squeezed out but already continues to be in shape. Health and beauty have always been significant factors and serious advantages in achieving social success. We want to deal with attractive and confident and active people. We seek how it's possible to maintain relevance for longer and to, as much as possible, delay the aging process with its inherent ailment. That's why the attention to health is focused not only by the part of the old generation, but also by part of young people.
Привлекательности – важные задачи, которые приходится решать людям на протяжении всей жизни.
Maintaining and supporting attractiveness are important tasks that people have to accomplish throughout their life. The desire for looking fresh and cheerful is a natural character trait, effective-oriented results of a person in this regard. In the last years, we noticed unprecedented interest growth toward the healing in the healing innovative technologies, preservation and youth extension.
Точно предугадать, когда у нас что случится.
The modern life is very active and we can never exactly predict when something happens. We fall down, we got nervous, we get tired in the evening, and it all happens almost every day within a person. It's only sufficient to click one button in the morning and the programs will automatically switch throughout the day, restoring the systems people need.
То есть ритм убирает такие очень серьезные проблемы.
That is, Deta-Elis eliminates very serious problems of a modern person, such as dysbacteriosis, because almost 100% of the population have this problem. It's a hypoxia problem, which is also now a problem of the residents of metropolises. This is reduced immunity. This device allows to restore the immunity. This is restoration from various problems related to the autonomous nervous system.
Данный прибор восстанавливает функции самых жизненно важных систем человека.
This device restores the function of a human's most vital systems. Even if Deta-AP removes all infections and viruses, anyway, in a person, there remains a certain damage in these organs because infections, bacteria, or fungi, they cause changes in the organs, and Deta-Elis is necessary to restore precisely a human's natural immune system.
Если у человека Хороший уровень энергии. Если у человека хороший...
If a person has a great energy level, if a person has good immunity, then, in general, they will heal wounds quickly enough. That is, they will not develop an infection in a wound because their immunity quickly deals with that, and there are special programs having this particular healing vector, helping the body to better cope with it. That is, if we take a specific injury, people who used our technology for very complex fractures with a dislocation, with the fact that then they collected the bones and inserted certain plates for strengthening. They put them in the feet 2 or 3 times faster than in a standard case. The treatment in this case passed without suppuration. There wasn't any severe pain, and there wasn't such an unpleasant procedure like rejection of those metal prostheses which were inserted, because many people have rejection and strong suppuration processes occur.
У наших пациентов, клиентов такого не бывало.
To our patients and clients, this didn't happen, and people recovered fantastically fast.
Думая о детстве, мы часто вспоминаем, насколько счастливыми были самые, казалось бы, простые моменты. Игры во дворе, встречи с друзьями, поездки...
When thinking about childhood, the happiest simple moments would seem playing in the yard, meeting with friends, a visit trip, socializing with other kids. All this had a special, incomparable taste. However, few people were taught that it was happening because the healthy body of a child had not forgotten how to be glad. It functioned in the optimal balance, having a sufficient supply of adaptive capabilities and reserves, because it had a high level of energy and was capable of experiencing pure, vivid things and nothing else, which is inaccessible to the majority of adults due to the depreciation and the negative impact of life circumstances. The Deta technology's task is to neutralize those factors and return the person to the former functionality and activity. We aim to return the people's energy, excitement, and life taste. Today, qualitatively new level of reality is becoming possible, allowing to bring the body to a perfect shape and restore the emotional potential, live brighter, more joyfully, and have a life full of events.
Deta-ритм работает на клеточном уровне.
Deta-rhythm works at the level of cells, as our esteemed doctors say, because, first of all, the information that emits an electromagnetic field is taken by the body fluid and the body cells. Plasma can be named differently, but in any case, the human body saves this information, and thanks to this, there is a prolonged effect, which we personally observed in the Institute Monarchy with blood plasma.
Есть материя, которую можно пощупать, а есть энергия.
There is matter that can be felt, and there is energy and information that is invisible to the most significant factor. What can change everything is information. The information cannot just be transferred. It is transferred to a certain energy carrier. So here is an electromagnetic wave. It consists of 2 parts, an electric field and a magnetic field.
Из электрического поля и магнитного поля. Электрическое поле – это есть, по сути, энергия, а магнитное поле – это информация. Они друг с другом...
An electric field is essentially energy, and a magnetic field is information. They're interconnected with each other. Without each other, they cannot be. The information as a medium, as they say, rides, floats, runs, flies, and so on, reaches the object, and it changes its characteristics. Therefore, first of all, the use of a Deta-written device is a mean of normalization of energy information characteristics of the object. In this case, in the medical aspect, these are our organs and systems. They're improving their work in this way. The human health is improved and restored.
Deta-ритм сейчас максимально автоматизирован.
Deta-rhythm now is maximally automated. We see in our complexes approach 3 main basic programs in Deta-rhythm. Only by turning on these programs you can already solve up to 85% of those problems that a person has. These are the 3 programs that we call a healthy day, health, and full cleansing. Full cleansing is a program that perfectly normalizes the human excretory system and removes the excessive toxins. Healthy day and health, they also improve internal vital functions for a person. We recommend to turn them on every other day in order to, in a maximum complex, cover all the functionality of our organs. These programs are truly universal for everyone. Therefore, as I say, even without using any other special programs, working only with these programs within 1 or 2 months, any person can receive excellent dynamics of their own health.
Методы биофизической регуляции, они намного более экологичны.
The methods of the biophysical regulation are much more ecological than the chemical regulation methods because there are no side effects. There are no allergic manifestations, no complications. There's a high efficiency, they're completely safe, there's scientific validity, simplicity and ease of use, even within the family. And it's such a convenient instrument, which it's simply a sin not to have to a modern educated person who cares about their health.
Который заботится о своем здоровье.